Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am making a shadow box card featuring products from Heffy Doodle and the Greeting Farm. It's a bit of a mashup and part of a blog hop. So let's take a look at these cute stamps from the Greeting Farm. This is the Little Fairies stamp set and the With Love stamp set. I picked these out because I just felt the need to make a fairy card. This is the Hi Hello die cut. I'll be using the word hello. I also got this super cute sticker because I loved it. Also, they have digital stamps. I did purchase a digital stamp set that I did not end up using. Now from Heffy Doodle, I'm using the big shadow box die, one of my favorites from Heffy Doodle. I'm also using these Slimline scenery dies and the Let's POLKA stencil. I'll bring in a couple more things from Heffy Doodle as we go. I'm going to first stencil a background with some Aqualicious ink from Altenew. I love this color so much. The name is awesome and it's a beautiful color. So I'm just concentrating the ink in the middle and then letting the ink get lighter as I work my way out to the edge. I am going to die cut this with one of the dies from the big shadow box die set. This scalloped one right here, and this will become the background for my card because why not a polka dot background? I love polka dots so much. So there it is with the little tiny scalloped edge. For a shadow box, you need two of the largest pieces from this die set. I'm going to cut a window from one of them. You could die cut the window and the outside piece at the same time if you wanted to, whatever works best for you. But I'm going to use that smaller of the two frames that has a stitched edge. So it's going to leave a stitched edge on my window, and the piece it cuts out has a stitched edge, which you could use for something else. This is the bridge piece. I'm going to use two of these in my box today. They are going to be the pieces that you build your scene on inside the box. I am also going to make them look like clouds. This piece is just a little bit too small for what I want to do for clouds, so I decided to save that. I'll use it on another part of this card. I pulled in that Slimline scenery die with the stitched clouds to create my two bridges that look like clouds. And before I put this background into my card, I decided I wanted the edge to have a little bit more dimension, so I added a little bit more Aqualicious ink to the edge before gluing it down to the panel that does not have the window and on the inside, because that's going to be my background. Then I'm using some double stick tape as well as my Glue-Bert from Heffy Doodle to attach the two pieces. Now really, it's ideal if you put the two pieces together before you do the background, because that background will overlap the connection point. All right, so those two pieces are hooked together. Now I'm putting some double-sided tape onto the flaps of my bridge pieces. Those are scored lines already made for you, so it's easy to figure out where to stick these in. You're going to attach these to the space between the window and the background. You can put them all the way down at the bottom, or you can move them farther up towards the top of the card. You can also space these out, so you can move them vertically and horizontally to create your scene. I like to just mess with it, not stick it down really hard the first time, so I can space them how I want. So once those are officially well placed, then I take the adhesive off the other side. I will put some liquid adhesive on there because that's kind of my go-to. I like to use some type of tape adhesive and liquid adhesive when you making like an interactive type card. Then you just close that other flap down to pick up that adhesive. Then once that is kind of dry, I like to then glue my little tab to close and put the box together. And that's as easy as it gets. You can also put more bridges in there if you want, or less. You can only do one if you want. All right, let's move on to stamping out our super cute images. I have some alcohol-friendly cardstock from Heffy Doodle, and I did pull in a die set or a stamp set from Heffy Doodle for the sun and the clouds, and I thought that set was just perfect to go with this fairy set. So I would have like fairies in the sky. That was my theme I was going for. So I stamped that out, and I will add some additional stars because I wanted to put lots of stars on the outside of the box. You can see I stamped those there, as well as a little like flower image from the fairy set. And I am using some Copic markers to color these in. So I have BG13 as the darkest color for her hair, and then the lightest color is BG32. So I put my darkest color down first, and then I'm just blending that out with the lighter color. And she has a little side ponytail. It is so cute, like a curly Q. I love it. So I'm coloring her hair blue, and then for her dress, I'm bringing in some yellows. So I have Y17 and Y15. I'm working darkest to light. It's kind of my favorite way to color right now. And right there, I realized my Y08 is dried up. Time for a refill. So I brought in Y06 to finish off her dress. Then for her wings, I used C0 and C2 to add just a little bit of shadow. And then for her skin, I went for kind of a mid-tone color with E33, and then I'm blending that out with E53, and I just felt like it was a little too light. It needed to blend better, so I just went over it a second time, and I loved how it looked after that. So I am going to repeat those same colors throughout the rest of my coloring, but I wanted to show you a couple other things. I have a silver gel pen here from Pear Blossom Press, and I'm putting them on the fairy wings and kind of rubbing it out. I learned that at a recent class that I went to that's from Sweet Sentiments. I'm going to be sharing some of their products soon on my YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. And then I am adding some white gel pen highlights all around this fairy, on her hair, her dress, even on her face a little bit to bring out the pupils of her eyes. So there she is, so very cute. And then I colored up the rest of the images, as you can see here, added in some gel pen highlights, some silver gel pen, and then it's time to cut out all the things. All the things. Now, I don't have dies for my greeting farm stamps, so I fussy cut them out, and we'll set those aside and add to our shadow box, because as I was going, I really wanted to use the two rectangle dies together to create a scalloped frame. I love scallops. Like, they're just so cute, and tiny ones especially. So I just knew that this frame with those tiny scallops was going to look great as an accent to the front of my box. Also, this is where I added in that smaller little border of clouds, just attaching it to the back of that scalloped frame for a third layer of clouds, and it looks super cute. Then I can glue this whole thing down to the front of the box. So now I have 3 different layers of clouds, and it really just adds to the dimension of this shadow box. All right, for assembly, I am adding the little poof flower thing to the hand of the fairy, and I gave her the little crown as well. She is darling. Love it. All right, so for my background, I am taking that sun and the cloud and putting them on the background itself. So there's lots of different layers that you can add images to when creating a shadow box. I put the sun on there with a foam square, and for my fairies, I want them to appear as if they're flying or like flitting about in the sky. So I'm using a piece of window shade that's fairly heavy duty and attaching it to the back of the cloud bridge piece, and then the fairy will stick to the top of that. So the clear piece really gives the illusion that the fairy is flying there inside the box. And I love using these little window sheet picks like this to create shadow boxes. I do it almost every single time I create a shadow box card, which, by the way, shadow box cards are some of my favorites. I even create Slimline shadow box cards with a die set from Scrappy Tales. I love that die so much. I will link that for you below too. And there's also a tiny shadow box from Lawn Fun. I have all 3, this one and the other 2, because like I said, shadow boxes are so much fun, and they lay flat. You can send them in an envelope, so they're really fun. I also put this cloud on a little window pick so that it appears to be floating above the other clouds, and that, you can see, finishes off the inside scene, but I added those stars on each of the corners of the front of the box to give it a lot more detail. And you remember I stamped out a sentiment that had the word fairy in it? I don't actually end up using that. Now I'm working on the sides of the box. I have 2 pieces here that will fit on the side panels. I just cut them myself using my paper cutter so that they would fit on the side, and then I stenciled them as well with the Aqualicious ink and that Let's POLKA stencil, adding a little dusting of ink to the edge. And I'm bringing out the With Love stamp set for the sentiments, and I'm using Versamark Onyx Black ink because I like, when I'm stamping on top of something already inked or already stamped, I like to use this ink. It's just bold and vibrant. I can do it in one pass and it looks great. So there they are. And then I will glue those down to the side panels, and you can see they have a little border all the way around. I love that. It just helps draw your eye into the center. So now we're going to put a little embellishment on there. I stamped the 2 tiny baby fairies from the With Love set. They don't have their wings yet, so I am going to mount them on a tiny cloud. This is actually the big stitched cloud die set from Heffy Doodle. I die cut the smallest cloud twice, and then my little fairies can be sitting on their clouds until they earn their wings, right? So there they are, a cute little accent for the side of this card, which I love, having a little space to decorate. All right, this is the Hi Hello die set. I die cut the word hello from some bright yellow cardstock. I love the contrast of the yellow with this really light teal color. Gorgeous. And there's a nice space there to write a handwritten message. And check this out. This card lays flat and fits perfectly in an A2 sized envelope. Love it. Love it so much. So that is my card that is a mashup of Heffy Doodle and the Greeting Farm. This is part of a blog hop, so you want to make sure and check out my blog, carrystamps.com. And this blog post in particular, you want to leave a comment over there on the blog post for a chance to win a gift certificate, either to Heffy Doodle or to the Greeting Farm. So 2 chances to win, and there are other designers hopping along in this hop as well, so you can check out more products, more ideas, and inspiration from both companies as you place more entries for that giveaway. So I thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I have new videos all the time, and I love sharing my creations with you. So happy stamping. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.